Ladies and gentlemen, dogma. One thing about held beliefs is if they're not grounded, and for the most part, if they're actually fomented based on wishful thinking, the moment you hit at the heart of everything, you're going to get a few responses. One of them is you need to stay in your lane. Like I got people try to tell me, oh, you're a PC player, so you need to stick with PC. Like I didn't spend money buying a PlayStation 4 and 5 and 4 Pro, right? And buy the PlayStation games that I want to play like you, the PlayStation player. And I didn't pay for PlayStation Plus with hundreds of hours of Tom Clancy's The Division 1 and 2 on record to show, Mortal Kombat 11 to show that I was also engaging in this ecosystem. I mean, just because I say I play on PC more these days, and I do, you think that you probably have some kind of appeal to presence on PlayStation that gives you the right and the exclusivity to actually address these issues, not realizing that because of what PlayStation has been doing and has not been satisfying what I think is the value proposition that I as a gamer is looking for, I went back to PC. I saw comments today. This stuff is really good, ladies and gentlemen. It's very interesting. I saw a comment, and the comment said, what does it even matter anyways? Now, you would have to ask, okay, well, what did you even say, VG? Because, VG is always like, I don't know, man. I'm always saying something, right? But what I'm usually saying is I'm saying what people who are in charge of stuff are saying. Like, I'll make a video and, I could title the video, Herman Holst said. Or I'll make a video and I could title the video, Shuhei Yoshida said. Or I could make a video and title the video, Phil Spencer said. And people would say stuff like, well, or then they'll say, what does it even matter? What's even the point of this conversation? Right? Look at it. I'm not joking, guys. Why does any of this matter? What is the point of the conversation? Well, I made a video where I talked about how PlayStation moved its own perspective, where at first it never intended to take games to the PC platform, whereas now it's taking games to PC day one. Helldivers 2, Concord, Until Dawn Remake, Lego Horizon Adventures, Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster. When you even compare the remasters, I mean, you can think about The Last of Us Part 1 Remaster. That came later. But Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon's Remaster, it's day one. Lost Soul aside, day one. I was talking about the shift that PlayStation has had in light of everybody swearing to, the tune of their lives that Xbox is going third party and PlayStation is not. Why do you ask him? Because Xbox is taking its games multi-plat or other consoles. And I point out that, well, look, PlayStation has Lego Horizon on Nintendo and MLB The Show on Nintendo and MLB The Show on Xbox, and also has Death Stranding on Xbox. And then they say, well, why does it even matter? It matters because you all have been clearly lying. Do I have to spell it out? I was trying to be nice. I wasn't going to basically just go out and, clearly say that you're a liar. But since you want me to go ahead and say so, those of you who have said that, you were lying. Okay, let's just put it out there. I mean, goodness, I hated to do that. But again, the moment I continue to get these kinds of comments or stay in your lane comments, because those don't even matter. So I come in. I'm not the kind of person that wants to just back down on this kind of a conversation because the truth is just way too important than the pedantic things that we're seeing on here. This person says Sony changed their mind. Xbox changes their mind. Apple changes their minds. Google changes their minds. Things change. Well, that's all VG has been saying for the last 2 years, and the internet's been dragging me in the comment section. That's all I've said, but maybe because this person is new, so perhaps maybe I'll give a little concession here. Then they said this. Last thing I read was money was made on console game sales than PC. Where did you read that from? Mobile greater than console greater than PC. Do you see again, ladies and gentlemen? The last thing this person said they read was that console sold more than PC. Did anybody remember Matthew Ball's data set that he did 200 PowerPoint slides long? Did anybody see that? Did anybody remember that at least the PC market had higher spending than the console market? Did anybody remember that? Because it was just recently. So again, you can throw last thing you read, but where's the data to support the last thing that you read? Because you could have read anything. And this is the problem we have in the conversation. So again, when somebody asks me, why does it matter? This is exactly why it matters. Because again, misinformation is flying, disinformation, pure lies are going everywhere. Now, again, I'm not saying that, in this case, this person is lying. I'm just saying that the so-called community of talkatives have been lying in cahoots in many cases with each other, just spreading falsities all over the place. Saying that Xbox is doing this because it's bringing games to PlayStation, when PlayStation was basically the first to move its games to Xbox this generation. Yes. Did anybody forget that MLB The Show is a game developed by Santa Monica Studios? Huh? Did anybody also forget that Matthew Ball in January 14th, basically less than a month ago, 200-pager, where we saw that the PC market had the highest spending, even though it had come down, bodying the 3 console hardware manufacturers. Again, this stuff is out there, and this is why VG makes 3,000 videos a day. Okay? And then the person said this. I would assume, well, that's the problem. Let's be careful with assumptions. That Sony puts their games on PC and not on Xbox for 2 reasons. Well, that's a throwaway statement because we have PlayStation games on Xbox. Do you see that? We have MLB The Show. I love that game. I'm buying every iteration of that game, by the way. The moment I started looking into MLB The Show, I went straight and started buying the games. I bought 2020 on my PlayStation. I got 2021 on eBay, and then I went and got the other. I said 2021. Sorry. I got 3 copies of it, 3 different iterations. It's just a lot of fun to just gather them. I mean, hopefully I'll be able to play a baseball game. Right? And then they said this, number 1. Anyways, I'll just keep reading, even though this is a throwaway statement. You said number 1, to make more money from a game, obviously, typically, but not in all cases after some time. What do you mean? They put it on there as gratis? They should have basically said download for free. Because I guarantee you, if I fire up Steam, right, and I go into my PlayStation library, or if I go to the Steam store, I can guarantee you that all I've been seeing all this while is buy. Buy. Let's look at it so that way I'm not making it up to you. I'm not making it up so that you don't go say VG is making stuff up. When I click here, it says add to cart. Purchase license. Look at it all. Okay, it says $59.99. I don't see anything free here. So it's definitely your first point. You can't tone it down. It's okay. It's fine. It's business. Some games never, I guess GT7. Well, we don't know. Icon Era was the one that reported that GT7 had gotten canceled as well as Demon Souls. We don't know. So there's no such thing as never. Because again, never is usually what puts a lot of, developers in weird trouble. Just like Insomniac said. You remember in that 2017 tweet? Go Google it. Go look it up. Come on now. Inform yourselves a little bit. Do some homework. Where they said that Spider-Man was a PS4 exclusive and will never be on Xbox or PC. Never is not a good thing to say, especially in this gaming industry. And then they said number 2, to beat out the competition in the console market, aka Xbox. What? So you mean to tell me that they're bringing their games to PC to beat Xbox? Well, I'm sorry to say, but they're kind of too late. On average, their game sales on PlayStation cannot come close to the cumulative trust and the cumulative number of titles and franchises that Xbox has either already launched on PC or has set to launch on PC. Again, it's kind of interesting. So I replied and said, PlayStation games are on Xbox. That's all I simply said. I just replied and said, PlayStation games are Xbox. And they said, VG, so I only know of Death Stranding and MLB The Show. Well, those are the games I'm talking about. And then here's this. In both cases, I assume, stop assuming Sony did not want them on Xbox, but contracts either expired. Man, guys, there's a term of endearment we black people call each other, right? Sometimes it wants to slip out. Death Stranding's a PlayStation game. What contract? PlayStation signed a contract with itself saying, you know what? I can only keep my own game exclusive to me for so many years. Like, what? Stop the excuses. They're kind of brutally destroying all of this notion and helping me create more videos. oh, maybe I actually enjoy this video creation process too much. Maybe I do. I admit there's a side of it that's like fun. Why? Because now a lot. Let me tell you what happened, guys. Let me tell you what happened. I saw the market moving in a weird trend. The moment they brought that first Spider-Man game to PC, the moment they brought their other games to PC, I said, this trend is happening. And I saw a trend. I said, man, there's got to be something here. There's got to be something here. Right? And as I was thinking about it, I was saying to myself, could it be? And so I started making these videos. Guys, I think there's a trend here. I think something's going on here. I think something's going on here, man. We got to look at this. Spider-Man may be coming to PC. Sony, just do it because you'll get a competitive edge, right? And all of a sudden, those videos did. But meanwhile, there were people who backed themselves into a corner thinking that it would never happen. So now that it's happening and the trends are changing, they're looking for a way to get out of the argument that they've bound themselves in, and they can't. And so what I continue to do is I continue to make the same argument, and the more they struggle, the tighter the rope that they basically have tied themselves with continues to pretty much get more and more snug. So you saying contracts either expired, that is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. That PlayStation basically has acted as its own guarantor and someone else in the same business dealing to make a contract expire. Is this a new one? This is a new excuse? Or dictated that they do it after some exclusive time frame? MLB dictates for PlayStation. Do you know how long MLB The Show has been on PlayStation, ladies and gentlemen? MLB The Show has been on PlayStation almost forever. So if you say, oh, it's after some time, what time? No. The market is the arbiter of what's going on right now. The market has spoken to MLB The Show and said, find more players or your studio will close its doors. That's what the market has said. MLB The Show has been there since 1997. How many people watching this video remembers 1997? Some of us do. Me kind of vaguely. I was still young then. But that's how long this game has been. And it's going basically on 20 years. And all of a sudden in 2021, the game made its way to PC and sold the most it had ever sold in its franchise, according to Business Wire, Berkshire Hathaway company, having been exposed to more than 4 million players since then. The reality is PlayStation, according to one of my audience members, cannot trust this audience anymore to give it the higher game sales. It will go wherever it's expedient for it to get enough sales within its reach or get more sales and save face. But if the situation gets dire, somebody's going to look for money. PlayStation could probably cut its nose off if it did not want to take games to Xbox. That's all that's all and done and all and well. But if you have to sell your franchise, and this is the reality of that agreement, just so I can stop being all petty and silly. If you have to sell your publishing rights of a game that you pretty much funded, Death Stranding, so that the game can go make money, then you're admitting that the reality is that the market is dictating to you and you are just playing a PR game to still reach the same end goal. So who cares? Or dictated it, and they said that Lego game is rumored, but I don't know if that's true. No, it's not rumored. Lego is a PlayStation game. Guys, we continue with this same package every single time, and I continue to show y'all that in this whole thing, let me get back to my bookmarks, you're going to see it. A Guerrilla developer, a producer within Guerrilla, I bookmarked this stuff for you guys. Look, this is all I got to sit here and keep receipts. Good thing Twitter has a bookmark. This is it right here. This is Tima. This person over here, user Tima, who is lead producer, franchise developer, Guerrilla Games. His tweet, October 3rd, 2024. I still cannot believe we pulled it off. Developing a AAA game for Nintendo Switch by PlayStation Studios. Bruh, you cannot come out here and say these things, because here we got to make sure that we're looking at what the industry is doing. And I don't even know how I ran into that one. I think I was just looking around. That was just one of those. It was just one of those blessings. So this is not a contractual obligation of some kind that needed to be fulfilled. This is a market force pressuring a game and looking at a studio that hadn't really made a lot of money after its old game sales from Lego, from Horizon Zero Dawn, and at all the costs to basically go ahead and make this particular Lego game, and trying to find a way that the game can be sustained and sustainable so that that studio doesn't close. Concord Studio is gone. They closed down that studio, guys. The studio is done. Are y'all not listening? The studio is gone. This is not a matter of exclusivity or whatever. The studio is gone. The employees who could not find any jobs within PlayStation or outside, they're looking for work right now. So this is not a matter of playing this exclusive game from a position of strength. If you're closing studios, you do not have that strength. I am very, very sorry to announce it to you. You don't have it. The way your studio stays open is not by hardware sales. It's by software sales. We'll visit that in a different video. So guys and girls, what I got to deal with every single time. Every single time. And so they said this. And to be fair, they talked about God of War, which was rumored in 2018, but didn't happen. It's on PC. My point, and I'm sure, but need to be coy, is that Sony has not ported in wholly owned games to the Xbox. What do you mean by wholly owned games to the Xbox? Is Death Stranding not a wholly owned game? Oh, it's partially owned by Kojima, and MLB is partially owned by MLB, and Lego is partially owned, so it's only got to be partially owned before it becomes a game that is actually going to Xbox, and so before we can categorize it? Do you not see how they're playing you guys, man? Do you not see how Sony is actually playing y'all and farming money from Xbox with you guys all still here carrying water for them? And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this so-called new criteria of wholly owned, I would be willing to basically accept it, but I know that most PlayStation fans like to move the goalposts. So what I've learned, it's not what I've learned, but I've always known, but once in a while, I don't take concessions from you. So here's what I'm going to do with this last paragraph. I reject this whole notion of wholly owned. I only go with what Herman Hulse said, which he said that just because one first-party AAA goes to PC and doesn't necessarily mean other games now come to PC, right? I go with what Herman Hulse said, basically, that they weren't planning day and date and all this other stuff of games going to other places. He never categorized wholly owned. He never categorized anything squat. So I refuse to accept that particular qualifier that you're putting. Why? Because you have no right to actually put that qualifier. So we can toss that statement away. Thanks for watching the video. Peace out.